The Dying Princess. The story opens on the planet Vex Prime, where Princess Luna of the Vexery race lies dying in the royal medical chambers. Her violet skin has turned pale, and the crystal formations that normally glow along her arms and forehead are now dim and cracking. The Vexery are a proud warrior race with natural psychic abilities, but Luna suffers from a rare genetic condition called soul fade, a disease that slowly drains the life force from her body. The royal healers have tried everything. Advanced alien medicines, energy transfers from willing volunteers, even forbidden rituals from ancient texts. Nothing works. King Rex, Luna's father, grows desperate as he watches his only daughter waste away. The Vexery have ruled this sector of space for centuries, but their princess will die within days unless a miracle occurs. Dr. Kate, the court's lead scientist, discovers something shocking in the ancient archives. There exists a legendary healing method called the life bond, a permanent psychic connection between two beings that can share life force indefinitely. It catches that it only works between species with compatible neural patterns. After running tests on genetic samples from across the galaxy, Kate makes a stunning discovery. Only humans possess the exact brain chemistry needed to bond with a dying Vexery. The problem is that humans are considered the weakest species in known space. They have no natural psychic abilities, no enhanced strength, and their technology is primitive compared to other races. Most aliens view humans as barely more than clever animals. The idea that these inferior beings could save their princess seems impossible to accept. King Rex faces an agonizing choice. He can swallow his pride and seek help from humanity, or watch his daughter die. The Royal Council argues fiercely. Some nobles believe it would be better to let Luna pass with honor than to bind her fate to a human. Others argue that any chance to save her must be taken, regardless of the cost to their reputation. Meanwhile, Luna drifts in and out of consciousness, unaware of the debate raging around her. In her dreams, she sees visions of a distant blue world and feels a strange calling towards something she cannot understand. Her psychic abilities, though weakened, seem to reach across space toward Earth. As the story concludes, King Rex makes his decision. He will send an urgent message to Earth, requesting volunteers for an unprecedented mission. The message is simple, but carries the weight of desperation. Our princess is dying. Only a human can save her. Will you help? The transmission races through hyperspace toward a small blue planet, where humanity remains unaware that they possess the power to save an alien. Princess and that one brave soul will soon be asked. Sacrifice everything for love. The volunteer on Earth, Dr. Mark Thompson, receives the alien transmission at the International Space Communications Center. As Earth's leading expert in xenobiology, he is chosen to decode the message from the Vexery Empire. The request seems impossible, an advanced alien civilization asking for human help? Most government officials dismiss it as a hoax or trap. Mark, however, recognizes the scientific opportunity of a lifetime. The data packet includes detailed information about Vexery biology, their princess's condition, and the theoretical basis for the life bond. After days of analysis, he confirms that the science is real. Humans do possess a unique neural structure that could theoretically form this bond. The world's governments debate the response. Some want to ignore the aliens entirely, fearing it's a trick to capture humans for experimentation. Others see it as a chance to establish contact with an advanced civilization. Religious leaders argue about the moral implications of binding a human soul to an alien being. During these debates, Mark makes a personal decision that shocks everyone. He volunteers himself for the mission. His colleagues think he's lost his mind. His sister Emma begs him not to go, reminding him that he has a promising career and a life on Earth. But Mark feels a strange compulsion, as if something is calling to him from across the stars. The selection process is rigorous. Doctors run every test imaginable on Mark, confirming his neural compatibility with vexillary biology. Psychologists evaluate his mental stability, questioning whether he truly understands that the life bond, if successful, would permanently connect him to an alien being he's never met. There would be no return to his old life. Mark surprises everyone with his unwavering determination. He speaks of humanity's duty to help others in need, regardless of species. He argues that this mission could prove to the galaxy that humans, despite their apparent weaknesses, possess something valuable: compassion and courage that other races might lack. As preparations begin for the journey to Vex Prime, Mark undergoes intensive training. He learns basic vexillary language, studies their culture, and practices meditation techniques that might help him establish the psychic connection. The training is difficult, as humans have no natural psychic abilities to build upon. Meanwhile, unknown to Mark, Princess Luna's condition continues to deteriorate. Her psychic abilities, though fading, seem to sense his approach across the void of space. She begins having dreams about a strange alien with short brown hair and kind eyes who speaks in a language she doesn't recognize, but somehow understands. Vexillary royal court prepares for the humans' arrival with mixed emotions. Some nobles are disgusted at the thought of their princess being bound to such a primitive creature. Others are curious about these humans they've heard so little about. King Rex remains focused on only one thing: saving his daughter's life. Dr. Kate continues her research on the life bond process, discovering that the connection goes far deeper than simple life force sharing. The bonded pair would share emotions, memories, and potentially even thoughts. They would become two halves of a greater whole, neither fully complete without the other. As Mark's ship approaches Vex Prime, he stares out at the alien stars and wonders if he's making the right choice. He knows nothing about the princess he's trying to save, except that she's dying and he might be her only hope. The bond, if it works, will change both their lives forever. The story ends as Mark's shuttle enters Vex Prime's atmosphere, carrying with it the hopes of two worlds and the possibility that love in its purest form as self-sacrifice might bridge the gap between species. First contact: Mark's shuttle lands in the royal spaceport of Vex Prime, and he steps out onto an alien world for the first time. The gravity is slightly heavier than Earth's, and the air has a metallic taste that makes his breathing mask necessary. Towering crystal spires rise around him, glowing with an inner light that pulses like a heartbeat. The vexillary architecture is both beautiful and intimidating, designed by beings who clearly possess power beyond human understanding. King Rex greets Mark personally, a gesture that surprises the royal court. The vexillary king stands nearly 8 feet tall, his violet skin marked with intricate silver patterns that seem to shift in the light. His eyes glow with a soft blue radiance, and crystal formations along his forehead pulse with psychic energy. Despite his imposing appearance, Mark senses desperation beneath the king's regal composure. Through translators, King Rex explains the urgency of the situation. Princess Luna has perhaps hours left to live. The life bond ritual must be performed immediately, with no time for Mark to acclimate to his new surroundings or truly understand what he's agreeing to. The weight of responsibility settles on Mark's shoulders. He has traveled across the galaxy to save someone he's never met, and failure means her death. Dr. Kate escorts Mark to the royal medical chambers, explaining the bonding process as they walk through corridors lined with glowing crystals. The ritual requires both participants to be in a deep meditative state, while ancient vexillary technology facilitates the neural connection. However, since Mark lacks psychic abilities, the process will be more dangerous for him. His human brain might not survive the intensity of a full vexillary psychic link. When Mark first sees Princess Luna, he's struck by her ethereal beauty, despite her dying condition. She lies on a crystalline platform, her normally vibrant violet skin now pale and translucent. The crystal formations on her body, which should glow with life energy, are dark and cracking. Her breathing is shallow, and her psychic aura, visible to Vexery, but not to Mark, flickers like a candle in the wind. Something unexpected happens when Mark approaches her bedside. Even in her unconscious state, Luna seems to sense his presence. Her crystals flicker briefly with light, and she murmurs something in her native language. Dr. Kate looks surprised, explaining that Luna hasn't responded to anyone's presence in days. There's already some form of connection forming between them. The royal healers prepare for the bonding ritual with ancient ceremonies that have not been performed in centuries. Mark is asked to place his hand over Luna's heart, while Vexery priests chant in their native tongue. The crystalline technology around them begins to resonate, creating harmonics that Mark can feel in his bones despite his lack of psychic sensitivity. As the ritual begins, Mark experiences something no human has ever felt before. His consciousness touches Luna's across the psychic plane, and for a moment he sees through her eyes, feels her memories, understands her deepest thoughts. She is not just a princess, but a warrior, a scholar, and a being who has always felt isolated by her royal position. Her greatest fear is not death, but dying without ever knowing true connection with another soul. The bonding process is agonizing for both of them. Mark's human brain struggles to process the psychic energy flowing through him, causing intense pain and disorientation. Luna's failing life force fights to stabilize as it connects with Mark's vibrant human vitality. For several terrifying minutes, it seems like the process might kill them both. Then, suddenly, the connection stabilizes. Mark gasps as he feels Luna's life force merge with his own, creating a feedback loop of shared vitality. Her crystals begin to glow again, and color returns to her skin. She opens her eyes for the first time in days, looking directly at Mark, with an expression of wonder and recognition. The royal court watches in amazement as their princess sits up, her strength visibly returning. But they also notice the change in Mark. His eyes now carry a faint luminescence similar to Vexery's psychic sight, and he seems to understand their language without translation. The bond has changed them both, making them something new and unprecedented. King Rex weeps with relief as his daughter lives, but he also realizes that the human who saved her is no longer fully human, just as Luna is no longer fully Vexery. They have become something entirely new, the first bonded pair between their species, with all the complications and possibilities that entails. The growing bond, in the days following the successful bonding ritual, Mark and Luna must learn to navigate their new shared existence. The life bond connects them more deeply than either had anticipated. They can sense each other's emotions, share thoughts when they focus, and feel physical sensations across their connection. When Luna experiences joy, Mark feels warmth spreading through his chest. When Mark feels homesick for Earth, Luna experiences a strange longing for a blue sky she's never seen. The adjustment is difficult for both of them. Mark struggles with the constant presence of another consciousness in his mind, while Luna finds herself experiencing human emotions and perspectives that feel foreign to her Vexery nature. Simple actions become complicated. Mark reaches for food that Luna craves, while Luna finds herself humming melodies from Mark's childhood memories. Dr. Kate studies their condition with fascination and concern. The bond is stronger than any theoretical model predicted. Mark and Luna are not just sharing life force. They're becoming psychologically integrated in ways that challenge the very concept of individual identity. Kate worries about the long-term implications. Will they lose themselves entirely, or evolve into something greater? The Vexery royal court remains divided about the situation. Princess Luna is alive and growing stronger each day, which fulfills their immediate need. However, many nobles are uncomfortable with their princess being permanently bonded to a human. They view Mark as an inferior being who has somehow trapped their princess in an unbreakable connection. Whispers of conspiracy and manipulation spread through the court. Mark faces his own challenges adapting to life on Vex Prime. The alien environment, while beautiful, feels hostile to his human biology. The food is barely edible, the gravity exhausts him, and the constant psychic energy in the atmosphere gives him headaches. Only his connection to Luna makes survival possible. Her vexury physiology helps stabilize his human systems in the alien environment. Despite these difficulties, Mark and Luna begin to develop genuine affection for each other. Their shared experiences create intimate understanding that goes beyond normal relationships. Luna shows Mark the hidden beauties of her world crystal gardens that sing with harmonic frequencies, meditation chambers where thoughts become visible light and ancient, libraries containing the wisdom of millennia. Mark shares his human perspective, teaching Luna about concepts like humor, creativity, and the simple pleasure of watching clouds drift across a sky. Their growing closeness disturbs certain members of the royal court, particularly Prince Dex, Luna's cousin who had expected to inherit the throne if she died. Dex begins plotting to break the bond, believing that Luna's connection to the human weakens both her and the entire Vexeray royal line. He secretly contacts scientists who specialize in psychic manipulation, seeking ways to sever the life bond without killing Luna in the process. Meanwhile, Mark receives communications from Earth demanding updates on his mission. His sister Emma pleads with him to return home, unable to understand why he's chosen to remain on an alien world. The Earth government grows suspicious about his extended stay, wondering if he's been compromised or brainwashed by advanced alien technology. Luna begins experiencing dreams and visions that seem to come from Mark's human heritage. She sees glimpses of Earth's history, its wars and peace, its art and music, its endless diversity of human experience. These visions give her new perspectives on leadership and governance that challenge traditional Vixery approaches to ruling. She starts proposing reforms that upset the conservative elements of her society. The bond also grants both of them new abilities. Mark discovers he can now perceive psychic energy, allowing him to sense the emotions and intentions of other Vexery. Luna finds that her psychic powers are enhanced by Mark's human intuition and creativity, letting her solve problems in ways that pure Vexery logic couldn't achieve. As they grow closer, Mark and Luna must confront a difficult truth: their bond isn't just keeping her alive, it's transforming them both into something unprecedented. They're becoming the first true bridge between their species, carrying the potential to change how humans and Vexery interact with each other and the galaxy at large. However, forces on both worlds oppose their union. On Vex Prime, traditionalists plot to break the bond and restore pure Vexery rule. On Earth, politicians fear that Mark has been compromised and plan to extract him by force if necessary. The couple realizes that their love story has become a political flashpoint that could determine the future relationship between their peoples. The story reaches a crisis point when Prince Dex makes his move, initiating a plan to sever the life bond during a traditional Vexery ceremony, believing he can save his cousin from human contamination while positioning himself as the realm's savior. Love conquers all. Prince Dex's plan unfolds during the festival of Crystal Light, a sacred Vexery celebration where psychic energy reaches its peak intensity across the planet. He has allied himself with a faction of conservative nobles and hired rogue scientists who claim they can break the life bond using ancient severance rituals combined with modern psychic amplifiers. Their plan is to overwhelm the connection between Mark and Luna, forcing their consciousness apart and freeing the princes from human influence. The attack begins subtly during the ceremonial proceedings. Mark notices that Luna seems disoriented, clutching her head as if in pain. Through their bond, He feels waves of psychic interference designed to disrupt their connection. The saboteurs are using the festival's natural psychic energy as cover for their assault, making it difficult for anyone to detect the artificial manipulation. As the psychic attack intensifies, both Mark and Luna begin to experience severe symptoms. Mark's human brain, not naturally equipped to handle psychic trauma, starts shutting down. He collapses, bleeding from his nose and ears. Luna screams as she feels their bond being forcibly torn apart, the life force they share becoming chaotic and unstable. The crystal formations on her body begin to crack and dim once again as her original illness threatens to return. King Rex realizes what's happening and orders his guards to find the source of the interference, but Prince Dex has planned carefully. The psychic amplifiers are hidden throughout the ceremonial grounds, and the attack is coordinated to make detection nearly impossible. As royal guards search frantically, Mark and Luna's condition continues to deteriorate. In the midst of this crisis, something unexpected occurs. The bond between Mark and Luna, rather than breaking under the assault, begins to adapt and strengthen. Their shared consciousness recognizes the external threat and responds by deepening their connection beyond what anyone thought possible. Mark's human resilience and creativity combine with Luna's vexery, psychic power to create a new form of resistance. Luna, drawing strength from Mark's determination and courage, stands despite her pain and addresses the gathered crowd, speaking in both vexery and the human language she's learned through their bond. She declares that the attack on them is an attack on the future of both their peoples. She reveals Prince Dex's conspiracy, using her enhanced psychic abilities to project the truth directly into the minds of everyone present. Mark, though physically weakened, manages to stand beside Luna. Together, they demonstrate the true power of their bond, not domination or contamination, but synthesis and growth. Their combined abilities allow them to trace the psychic interference back to its sources, exposing the hidden amplifiers and the traitors who placed them. The revelation shocks the Vexery court. Prince Dex's attempt to save Luna by destroying her bond has instead proven that their connection represents evolution, not degradation. The conservative nobles who supported him begin to see that the human Vexery bond offers possibilities they had never considered, not the weakening of their race, but its expansion into something greater. As the psychic amplifiers are destroyed and the attackers captured, Mark and Luna's bond stabilizes at a new level. They have not just survived the attempt to separate them. They have emerged stronger and more integrated than before. Their consciousness now flows between them seamlessly, creating a partnership that transcends the limitations of either species alone. King Rex publicly acknowledges what everyone can now see: Mark is not a threat to the Vexery royal line, but its salvation and future. He formally recognizes the human as Luna's bonded consort and equal partner in ruling their domain. This unprecedented decision sends shockwaves through the galaxy as other alien civilizations watch to see how this human-alien royal partnership will develop. On Earth, the news of Mark's new status creates its own upheaval. Humanity realizes that one of their own has become royalty in an advanced alien civilization, opening possibilities for diplomatic and cultural exchange that seemed impossible before. Mark becomes a bridge between worlds, carrying human values and perspectives into galactic politics, while bringing alien wisdom back to Earth. The story concludes with Mark and Luna standing together on the royal balcony, looking out over the crystal spires of Vex Prime as twin moons rise in the alien sky. Their bond has grown from a desperate attempt to save a dying princess into something that could change the course of galactic civilization. They have proven that love, true connection between beings willing to sacrifice for each other, can overcome the barriers of species, culture, and prejudice. Their union represents hope for a future where humanity's greatest strength, their capacity for empathy and growth, can help them find their place among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in the greatest adventure of all, the evolution of consciousness itself across the cosmos. The end asterisk.